Hi people, and hi my Chilli Con Carnage crew, it's Chilli here bringing you a 5-minute review episode, and on this episode I get to tackle the newest prog rock group to impress me with the Flower Kings and their album By Royal Decree. Yeah, laugh up the name, compared to say Dark Funeral, this is night and day. In fact, the only thing those two share in common is the fact that they were both from IKEA land, and Flower Kings, much like IKEA, has music with many parts that come together to create a super cool item. So, before we discuss the album, let's discuss the band's history. Flower Kings were formed in 1994 by guitarist and singer Rowan Stolt after one of his solo albums called Flower Kings, and the band would almost consistently put out an album every year for the first 10 years. Their lineup is fairly consistent, excluding drummers, with the current lineup being made up of Rowan Stolt, brother Michael Stolt, rejoining the band on bass, Hasley Frosberg on guitar and acoustic guitar, and backing vocals, Zach Kamina on keyboard, and Mirko De Mayo on drums. Now, hopefully I didn't butcher the pronunciation too bad on these names, and the Flower Kings, if you were listening, I'm sorry, but unless there are photos in a book on putting these names together, then I will most likely mispronounce them. Let's get into the album. Now, first of all, I will say this is a long album, even for a prog rock album. At 94 minutes long, it's 11 minutes longer than the famous anime movie Ghost in the Shell, and just as complicated. Now, when I see a band that's been around for 20 plus years releasing a double album, I usually get red flags going off. And I'm looking at you, Iron Maiden Senjutsu, but it's not necessarily the case on this album. And do I feel like this album is perfect in length? Well, not really. When prog rock is involved, I'm expecting 10-minute plus songs with 4 movements and a full-length album. This album has a few tracks that could be culled. For example, We Can Make It Work, which just feels out of place compared to the rest of the album. It's too poppy and very polished psychedelic Beatlesque in sound, compared to the rest of the album, which is pure neo-prog rock. Probably one of the other issues with the 18 tracks is I did find myself skipping half of the tracks to hear the last part of the album. I guess on long drives this album would work perfectly the same way Earthless does, but my routine right now does not allow me time for a full 90-minute trip into this album, and that could ward off newcomers to this band, as the album might seem imposing in length and size. Somehow it wasn't the case for me, but this is my first Flower Kings album I heard in full after stumbling across their previous album Islands, and the reason I came across that album was because it was painted by Roger Dean, who did the famous album covers to Yes, Uriah Heep, Asia, and many others, and I was curious as to which band he was doing the painting for in this artwork. However, I haven't heard Islands in full due to its 21 tracks and over 95-minute runtime. If it's any consolidation, it's not like it was skippable crap. In fact, the songs that I have heard were really good, and this is why I'm doing this review. I just need to allow myself more time on their previous stuff. In fact, the next part I asked to you Flower King fans, what would you say are their top 3 albums of theirs? Comment below or on Twitter and I will give them a listen. So as I am new to Flower Kings, I feel that I would offer some fresh and fairly unbiased reviews here. My prog rock influences are the OG ones with Pink Floyd and Yes. More new age stuff includes Moon Safari and the underrated Porcupine Tree, who have recently reformed and hopefully will be on a future episode of 5-minute reviews. Now, of these bands, Moon Safari is the closest in style, and the band who also caught the attention of ex-Flower Kings keyboardist Thomas Bowden. Flower Kings music is reminiscent of neo-prog rock groups like Marilyn, with the sound of early Steve Hackett. I'm surprised how long these guys were in the shadows to me, but alas, no more. The album as a whole might err on the longer side of things, but it rarely feels like it overstays its welcome, with each track being a wonderful journey. Overall, the album gets 900,000 chilies on the spicy scale, and standout songs for me include A Million Stars, Well Gone Crazy, and The Soldier. Well, that does it for me. Unfold the chili maker, because that was the Flower Kings in 5-minute review. Thank you for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please consider liking it and sharing it with your friends. And also don't forget to subscribe to our Chilli Con Carnage crew to stay updated on our newest videos. We're also on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Live Listen Erased. Please join us on those media platforms for all kinds of updates and discussions regarding music. And as always, stay spicy.